heard. Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Bolano, Bolano Home. Just give me a second. Oh boy, well, I found out why he's all angry right now. Jeez. So, today, we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. We got another special guest for you guys like we did last week. But as always, I'm going to get this situated and get this going so that way we can start the video. You can say hi to the baby while I do this. At some point, we got to figure out a better way to kind of get this rolling. Everybody, if you guys are watching, just getting the video out there like we always do. Say hi to the baby. I know you guys don't get to see him much. Hopefully the volume's off. Yes, it is. Boom. Alright. Well, looks like I got a whole bunch of you on here already. So anyways, my name is Jonathan Bolano, Bolano Home over at Keller Williams. As you guys know, every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. we do a live video here on Facebook to kind of answer you guys' questions in regards to like real estate or anything of the such. Wow, you're really chill right now, huh? He was just acting all angry too. But today we have a special guest for you guys. We're going to be having a roofer come in. He's going to be coming in a little bit. He's just getting out of Boston, so he should be popping in here in a few. Agudelo is not going to be joining us today. He's just doing this on a bi-weekly point right now, Justin. And thank you for the compliment. Actually, he needs a diaper change too. This is great right now. But Lisette is actually finishing listing a property right now, which I'm going to talk to you guys about in a few seconds. So, she's preoccupied. And I am trying to make all this work. So this is real estate life right here of parents just juggling everything, trying to make everything work. And so, you know, the show must go on. When we have open houses, the kids come. When we are doing showings, we got the kids come. You guys know how it is if you're a real estate agent already or you're in the loan office world. But anyways, I'm going to start off by letting you guys know that if you share these videos, you guys have a chance to get a $250 Amazon gift card. So what happens is every time you share one of the hashtag real estate talk videos between one episode and a certain other one. So for right now, it's episode 1 and the last one of the quarter, which we will let you guys know which one that is at a later point. We're going to take all those names that have shared these videos from both our page, from Agudelo's page, and put all those names into a raffle. We're going to shake it up a little bit, and we're going to pull out a name. And if your name ends up being the one on there, you have the ability to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Now, I don't know about you, but I would love to win an Amazon gift card. It just so happens to be that I'm the one giving it out. So, unfortunately, my shares don't count. But yours does, or do. And if you guys don't believe me, go look at our Facebook page. I mean, you're on my Facebook page, but go look at the Bolano Home Facebook page. There's a video there of our last winner from last year. Right in December. She was the first winner of all of this. And so you can see it for yourself and also find out what they are spending their money on, because it's something that you could be looking into. Let's say you're already a homeowner, you got some stuff that you want to fix around the house, and Amazon's where you get most of your stuff, then this works out perfectly for you. But nonetheless, make sure you guys share, because it doesn't hurt at all. And also, the more you share, the more opportunities you have to win. So you could share the same video 12 times. If we see it shared 12 times, you're going to get entered 12 times. So, all good stuff. Anyways, so what else are we talking about? Real estate talk. This is a place for you guys to get interactive. So, I know a lot of you don't have a lot of time in your lives to sit down with an agent at all points, to kind of ask questions and to talk to about random things dealing with either buying or selling. And you guys want someone to quickly talk to you. You don't have to sign up with anything. You don't have to go get a pre-approval for these things. All you got to do is just blast your questions away. And right here on the comments is the place to do it. So if you guys have questions, type them out to me and I will answer them. And it doesn't matter if it has anything to do with what we normally talk about or not. We're here for that. So this is an interactive place. And we do put together a little script so that way we have something to talk to you guys about if you do end up being quiet. But more often than not, when you guys aren't, we stop right away and answer those questions. And for those of you that have just joined, I'm just waiting for a roofer to swing over. He does something a little bit different than most roofers, so I didn't really prepare too much today. But we'll go through all the normal stuff. So what's the first thing that we're going to get into? $7,500 down program. If you guys are looking to buy a home, you're a first-time home buyer, and you need some down payment assistance, let's say your bank account isn't as healthy as you would like, then this is a program that Rhode Island grants to you guys. And if you want more information on that, I can get that over to you from one of our loan officers, or I can have someone contact you to provide you that information as well. As you guys always know, Agudelo always joins us on these videos, so I mean, his information's there all the time for you guys to use if you need it. Let's see, what else are we talking about today? Our listings. So we have 71 Ferris Street that is listed over here in Darlington, Pawtucket. It is listed for $214.9. It's 3-bed, 1-bath property. He's trying to talk as well and let you guys know what's going on. But there's a potential for a 4th in the basement, and it's just under 1,500 square feet. So if you get, it has a single-car garage. It has tons of room there for entertainment. And the backyard has a little patio area as well. So if you guys are big into entertaining, this is like a great spot. It's already set up. You got to still do the garage, but nonetheless, it's got a lot of love and potential in it to set it up for more of an entertainment type of area. Let's see, what else is there? As of this moment, we have just listed another property. The one I've been talking to you guys about that's coming up on the market is the half acre of land in Pawtucket, 78 Bacon Street. So go up to, I don't know if any of the websites will have it yet, but we can send you guys the information. But if you know somebody that's looking for a half acre of land, or something that has garages because they want to use garages and land, and we're looking into more things of what the property can do, but you can subdivide the lot. You can put two family properties over there. So this just got listed literally just now, and that's the reason why I'm holding Little Man right here. So if you guys know anybody, definitely send over some names and we can get you guys a private showing for that. What else do we got? We have Ashburn up as well. So if you guys, once again, it's right around the corner from Ferris Street. We just listed that one the other day as well, so that one's brand new to the market. That one's a 4-bed property, and it has 2 baths as well.
Special guest is here.
And our special guest is here. Give me 1 second. What's going on, buddy? There you go. Oh wait, you guys can say bye to Azariah. Say bye, buddy. All right. And this is actually professional too, the burp rag. So, well, we make things happen in real estate. What's going on, buddy? You can sit down with me. All right, so those are pretty much our 3 listings right now, and we are still sitting in a buyer's market. I'm not going to beat the dead horse on that one, but I want to welcome to you guys Edwin. He is the roofer that I was telling you guys about. He had seen these videos. He talked to him about everything, and he said that he wanted to sit here and share some information with you guys. So thank you for joining us.
No problem. Pleasure.
If you want, take a couple seconds and go through your background and let everybody know what's up, and I'm going to get rid of the dog. Maya.
All right, so my name is Edwin Leonardo. I have my roofing company along with my dad, licensed in Mass and Rhode Island, and a little bit about myself. I went to classical high school, I went to URI, and then of course over the years my dad has always been in roofing for the past 18 years, and I kind of been tagging along since then, been learning anything from the subs, from the workers, the homeowners, GCs, insurance people, I'm soaking everything in, and then it's just, came a time for me to apply it. On the field, and it's been kicking off so good.
That's awesome. And so you do, actually we'll probably jump into that in a little bit about what you do that's a little bit different, because I think that's a cool thing that we want to add in there. Actually, we have a quick question outside of that. So, yeah. As you know, we just answer questions to real estate. We just give everybody something to listen to while we wait. The question is from Natasha. Remodeling question for you. Is it better to have a tub in the main bathroom or change it to a shower stall style if you plan to sell later? I think that one's a situational basis. I wouldn't say that one holds more value than the next. I mean, obviously a family with kids or infants would probably want a tub so that way they could easily wash the baby there. And the reason why I know that is because of what you guys just seen. And we have a standing shower, so I know that not having a bath has sucked, for lack of better words. But standing showers also have their value as well. Now, by main bathroom, if you're talking about in a master bedroom, then that's a different story. Standing shower is always a great thing, but I do know that people do like bathtubs, even if it's one that's set aside, one of those old, what do you call it? I can't even think of the word, but one of the old ones where you just have like a nice little bath and such.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, those are classics.
Yes, the classic one. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. If I didn't just hit it perfectly, just shoot me some more information and I'll stop and we can hit that some more. So, anyways, some of the things that we're going to be talking about is how Edwin kind of goes into a job, how he views the job, and kind of the steps that he goes into completing that job. And so, one of the first things that you do, you said, is that you like to acquire all the information up front and
Yes.
look into it and find out if a homeowner is either like a proactive homeowner or somebody that's just reacting to like kind of a situation that's happening. Can you go into some of the intro type of stuff that you go into when
Yes.
first getting a call from somebody?
So when a phone call first comes in, you know, obviously there's a need. First, they're just trying to figure out. I mean, if you have a roof leak, you know you have a roof leak and you need to get that fixed. It's just a matter of finding the right person and you feeling comfortable and having that person educate you and going through the process. So that's kind of the approach that I try to take. I try to look at things and how I would want things to explain to me. Just because, you know, you got to take every approach. Just like a lot of people don't know about roofing, and it's just something that it's we take for granted, but it's so crucial to a home. I mean, a house without a roof or a failing foundation is not going to be a house any soon. It's just going to go.
Yeah.
But more or less, so when the customer calls in, we ask them age of the roof, how many layers, when was the last time it was done, what roofing material was on there, and also if there's an active leak, are they being proactive or reactive? Because if you're being proactive, then you know the age of your roof is towards the end of its lifespan. So now you're just preventing any leaks or any further damage from happening, from being proactive than reactive. Usually reactive, once moisture touches that wood, and you know, especially depending on how long it's been there, it may be time to replace it, and that kind of brings the cost a little bit up.
Cool. So you were talking about let's say leaks, age, layers. Now, if you have access to an attic or don't have access to an attic, how does that change how you kind of jump into a situation like that?
So one of the things we always ask is if there's any attic access, and the reason being is that we want to know what's underneath, what's the sheathing or the roof deck, so to speak. Is it plywood or is it boards? Especially older traditional homes have boards, and over time re-roofing it, you know, especially with wood expanding and contrasting, they deteriorate towards the end. So now anything with code, anything over a 1/4 inch gap, you need a plywood. There's no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be a nice solid substrate in order to be a warrantyable replacement or repair.
Now, what is a substrate for them?
Substrate is a solid, pretty much this is the substrate here. You know, it's something completely solid, no gaps, just because typically when we're nailing your shingles down, if I nail into those air gaps, guess what? A nor'easter comes and now you're calling me back.
Right, because it pulls everything right up. Now, let's say a person's going to buy a house right now,
Mhm.
and they actually have roof access. What are some of the things that they could look at underneath the roof that where they would notice there would be a problem, and they probably need to contact the roofer to kind of at least tell them, hey, do you really have a problem or not?
Correct. If you see any discoloration, so for example, usually on some more some spots. Yeah, but if you see any discoloration from your wood, I mean, that means there was moisture there either before or after. So it's just a matter of, I mean, you could go to Home Depot, get a moisture meter if you really want to get creative and see what the moisture level is on it. If it's high, then it's an active leak. I mean, honestly, a needle-sized hole will take up to 2 years to show up on your ceiling. By that time, guess what? It traveled through your rafters, through your insulation, through your ceiling. You may look at the ceiling stain here, but guess what? It's actually leaking from back there.
Right.
And there's no way
because of gravity and the lowest point.
The lowest point, you know, water travels the path of least resistance, and I found that out plenty of times just because most roofs are pitched. So if it leaks here, you'll see it down here.
Right. So you get through the attic, or you have to go to the roof to kind of see things. How do Actually, talk to me about the appointments. When you start making the appointments, like what do you do when you actually hit that point? So you have that conversation in person. You want to go see it in person.
Right. I want to go see it in person. If there's access to the attic, I want to go check it out, see where any leaks, what's going on. I can also look at the chimneys, any pipes. Usually, any roof penetrations usually tend to be the weakest point of the roof, along with any flashing along. Like for example, if you have a porch and then the porch touches the siding or pretty much continues. Usually, if it's not flashed properly, usually that's where you have your leak. And then one of the things is that we just want to cover all bases and educate homeowner current code and manufacturer's instruction. Just because anything away from that or different from that, it's just not going to pass one inspection, and two, it's just going to guarantee a further leak down the line.
All right. And so, what are some types of penetrations that you normally see that's in a roof that end up actually causing problems down the line?
Bathroom exhaust. You got kitchen exhaust. You got chimneys. You got bathroom pipes.
Sunlight.
So
what is your recommendation to try to avoid all those types of roof penetrations? What would you recommend that they do if they are looking to put in something for their bathroom or whatever? Would you have them shoot it out the side by the vinyl, or?
Usually depends. So back in the day, houses used to draft themselves, used to ventilate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now everything's so tight, so airtight that everything needs to be ventilated. So sometimes what people try to do is they do a layover on siding. So sometimes it becomes a little difficult when you're trying to vent through the siding. Obviously get somebody that's very comfortable and knowledgeable and they're a professional. But if not, if you got a roof professional, you can do it right through the roof. It just all depends on the age of it, because it's aged, it's warping, it's delaminating. We don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
On top of that, one of the things is if you ever look into exhaust, you always want to make sure everything's being exhaust outside. So if you ever want to do that, just consult me, consult anybody else, and make sure you're getting a professional that knows about ventilation, insulation, and how to properly address all codes.
Great. That's a lot of great information. So let's say they are looking at the bathroom exhaust and such. How can they tell if that's actually has some leaking around it, where they need to call a professional to come in and kind of fix the flashing, or because they have to fix the roof?
Discoloration is huge. Discoloration, maybe if there's like a mug, like a smell, then you might have mold trapped up there. And it depends if you have insulation up there. Maybe it's just trapping and dampening the insulation, and now that's going to damage the rest of insulation that's around that area.
So you go through the property. You've done your in-person walkthrough. What's the next thing that you kind of do?
So then I try to document everything. It's also it's a rule of thumb, especially in the insurance industry, to document everything. Have a code that says why, and then manufacturer's instructions explaining how it's going to get fixed. So that's one of the things that I just copied from that and just applied it all to retail. And what I try to do is just educate the homeowner what we do, what the process is like, and how we're going to guarantee there's no leak. And if there is a leak, guess what? I own that. Whatever area I fixed or touched, I own it. So I don't shy away. I'm not going anywhere, and pretty much, knock on wood, but I haven't had any callbacks.
Yeah, no, because when we spoke on the phone, you really go the extra mile to make sure that you cover all the gaps, literally, to make sure that nothing comes back, such as not nailing into air gaps.
Correct, which is huge because, maybe down the line they want to sell it, or maybe a competitor, whatever the case is. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So your customer may be somebody who's, for example, my customer may be somebody whose father was a roofer. So I got to make sure that I'm doing everything like it's going to be audited, and that's how I approach it. Everything, it's I put my name on it. I'm putting my company name and reputation on it. So so for example, one of the things I do is I put 6 feet of ice and water versus 3. Some codes or houses just 24 inches or 3 feet roll. I do 6. Covers me everything. It makes me go above and beyond. And of course, when it's your house that you're talking about, I'm not going to live with this roof, but the property owner, homeowner is. So let's give them the best product that we can.
Right. Perfect. That's cool. So when you finish going through that stuff, you start providing quotes and everything. Yes. What types of things are you putting on that quote?
So for example, if it's a roof replacement, we're talking, I educate them on what was used before, like tar paper, but now we use synthetic paper. It's much more breathable. We can play tug of war. It's not ripping. It's not going to wrinkle. We talk about some people, if the flashing on the chimney, the lead flash on the chimney is okay. Sometimes they're like, no, you can leave that out, but I always push and recommend that it gets brand new along with a roof. The best time to put a brand new skylight on top of that. Skylights is also a huge thing, is when you're re-roofing it. Skylight warranty usually is 10 years. And then after that, There's no warranty. So if you think about it, I mean, some roof shingles are 20, 30-year products. So if a skylight is only warranted for 10 years, you got to start thinking about a maintenance package. And of course, you know, that's actually part of being a homeowner is to maintain certain things, maybe once a year, twice a year, such as gutters.
Right.
You don't maintain your gutters, you're going to have a leak, the insurance is going to come, and they're going to say that's negligence. That's not what you want to hear based on your part.
So you start putting those kinds of things onto your quote to kind of list out what type of materials you're going to be using. Are you going to be putting in a new skylight or not? Because you can do those things too,
Correct.
right?
It's about framing, make sure everything is being supported correctly and being insulated correctly as well.
Perfect. So you hit the materials, your labor, and all that other fun stuff. Dumpster costs. So so let's say the quote ends up coming back good. The homeowner's like, hey, you're the perfect guy for the job. You do everything above and beyond, and that's what I'm looking for because I'm planning on staying in this property for the next 30 years, and I don't want to have to deal with these headaches. So having somebody that thinks long term like that and is taking care of things in advance is great. What's the next thing that you do? You got the quote all signed off and everything.
Right. So the next thing we do is just we try to coordinate. Everything's weather permitting. Because when working outside, you got to take into account the weather, the workers. I want to make sure everybody's comfortable.
It's definitely a family house.
It is a family house.
So much noise going on up there right now. It's crazy.
Everybody's happy though. It's all positive.
Except for the baby. Baby sounds like he's in a little bit of a bad mood right now.
Some yogurt ice cream will change that.
It's still too small.
Oh
yeah, we can't do the ice cream.
No kids over here yet.
Well, we got the 6-year-old, but the 2-month-old, I don't think he's gonna be too good with the ice cream just yet. No, but it would be nice.
Enjoy. Go to New Perfumery.
Yeah, right. Before that place is shut down too. But anyways, I won't go into the negative. So you were saying you're coordinating.
Yeah, so we coordinate materials, dumpster. We pull the permit well in advance, and just anything that would potentially be a special order, like skylights, maybe some type of flashing or anything out of the ordinary. By doing it in advance, it allows us to kind of to make sure that everything is on hand when we start the project, because it's all about, you know, we take into account the customer's time, neighbors as well.
Yep.
Gotta be, you know.
What do you do with the neighbors?
So we try to do is the day before, at least 24 hours in advance, we try to give them a heads up, like, hey, you know, we're gonna be roofing. It's a great way to introduce myself. It's a great way to be professional and kind of separate myself from my competitors, because typically nobody really does that. And that's just going the extra mile, make sure everybody's being taken care of. But also, what if the neighbor has a few missing shingles? The best time to do it is when I have roofers right next door. You know, so
it's big bang.
So I try to take advantage of that. And also, you know, I have to get my name out there. And so far, I mean, for anybody watching, you feel free to Google either roofers near us or near me, and make sure it's on Google Chrome, and you'll be more than satisfied from what you find. And I'm not mentioning my name; I'm just mentioning roofers near us through Google. Another thing is, I always tell people, just Google us. You know, we're better.
What's the name of your business?
It's Skyview Exteriors and Remodeling.
So I'm gonna type that up right here, real quick, actually. So that way, if you guys are interested, so Skyviews. What was the rest of that?
Skyview Exteriors.
Skyview's Exteriors Remodeling.
And Remodeling.
All right. So that way, you guys have all of his information right here. I'll let you keep doing your thing too. Boom. So for those of you that are watching right now, I'm just dropping his information up here, so that way if you like what you're hearing and you need a roofer, this is the way to go. And I'm going to drop the rest of this in there in a little bit.
Appreciate it. One of the things we like to do is we take pictures just so we could show the homeowner, the property owner, what's going on. Instead of them talking roofing language, what they may not comprehend. If we're able to point pictures, look at what's wrong before and after, then I have a whole catalog of previous work that I've done that could pretty much somewhat similar to whatever we're looking at their project. They could relate to that, and they're like, okay, so you've done this before. This is before and after. I like the way it looks. I haven't had a call back, and I'm more than welcome to give referrals or just give anybody information that they could call any of my previous customers just to find out.
Now, so there's a lot of different types of roofs out there. Are there any that you don't do? Are you able to do every single one of them?
So we don't do slate, which is, you know, so usually you see them on churches. It's those stones. We do composite slate, which is a plastic. You know, it's still a 50-year product. The only thing is that with technology advancing so much, we're no longer carrying stones, and it's much more difficult. I mean, those were the good old gritty days, but it's much more expensive though.
Yes.
We also do rubber commercial roofs. I mean, residential and commercial. The only thing is just that slate is just kind of like, and cedar shakes or cedar shingles. We don't do that as well, and that's, you won't even see those around anymore.
Yeah, I know.
On a roof.
I know you don't see that a lot, especially over in this area.
And if you do, it's kind of like the house was abandoned.
So what are the materials that you are used to using that you normally put on a roof? What are your main, let's say top three if you had to pick them out? What would be the top three types of...
Okay, so I'm certified through GAF or GAF. I supply a 50-year warranty on materials and labor, and it's transferable within the first 20 years. So that's a good bang.
So if they're looking to sell, they can actually give that over right to the next
certificate.
owner.
So we're saying, listen, you're buying the property, but that roof is guaranteed for 50 years as long as it's sold or transferred, just one-time transfer within the first 20 years. And then there's GAF. Once I mentioned, CertainTeed is another good product. Everybody in the industry knows them, but it's a French-American company. They have a plant right in Massachusetts. Owens Corning, which is a Pink Panther with the Shernail technology.
Yep.
And also Tamco. And sometimes I try to give customers options of good, better, and best, or just better and best. Just to give them, people like having options. People like buying, and people don't like being sold. And then that's what I try to portray and saying, here's your options. And, as long as it's per code, we go whatever route.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Fits. Yeah.
Great. So you were saying, what was it? It was one of the first things that you said. We'll come back to it because I don't want to spend too much time on me trying to remember stuff. But so let's say you coordinated everything. You got your dumpster there. You got your weather taken care of. Because I'm assuming that plays a big part into this as well. And you're starting to start the job. What are the things that you're looking at when you're going to start the job?
One of the things we look at is just make sure that nothing's changed. Make sure that cars are out of the way. We try to coordinate that in advance. Like, hey, we're starting at 8 a.m. My guys will get there along with myself at 7:30 just to start prepping out. But we try to make sure the cars are away. We look out for the neighbors' cars. We try to tarp everything off, even the neighbor's property. Just because, and even when we're cleaning up, we start at the neighbor's house. Just because, these guys have nothing to do with the project, but here their driveway has debris or potentially nails, and that's the last thing that we want. So we start at cleaning up at the neighbor's house, and then we just work our way into the main house. And usually a roof replacement is done within 1 or 2 days, depending on the season and weather. All
right. What are some of the first things that you do when you start actually doing the roof?
So we tarp. We start tarping everything off.
What does that mean?
Tarp is let's see. We just want to protect the homeowner's property, their siding, their windows. Shingles are going to be flying off down to the ground.
So it's that big black.
It's that big black tarp, or for example, in cars you see them in blue, over cars or whatever the case is. Yep. But it's just to protect everything. Just because when you got shingles flying from 3 stories down, I mean, even if plants get damaged. And especially, you're working hard planting your plants and your flowers, the next thing you know,
you got shingles sitting on them.
It's flattened, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy, so that's something that we try our very best. And sometimes the homeowner's more, they're more than understanding.
Great. So you put the tarp down. What are some of the next things you do as far as like boards? Like how do you know if you need to put in new boards, when you don't need to put in new boards? And then when you start shingling, like what's that process from there?
If I did get access to the attic, then I'm able to know to a certain degree how many and what I'm looking at or what needs to be done. If I don't, then I put it as a provision within my contract saying, if X and Y and Z, this is what we're gonna do. If this discoloration, if the wood is rotted, and that's kind of what we look for, because for something so minimal, I mean, the best time to get this repaired is when the roof is wide open. So this is the time to do it because it may not happen for another 20, 30, 40 years. So right. Who knows? Right. But besides that, I take pictures, we send it to whoever we need to send it to, and just let them know this is what we're looking at and this is what we're doing. Usually that becomes a change order, but more chances than not it gets approved. If not, then of course, if we could work to continue, then we're nailing into rotted wood or potentially degraded wood, and at that point
you gotta rip that out.
You gotta rip it out. If not, there's gonna be a blown off shingle down the line, and then you're gonna be calling me like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, and you want to give quality work, so you want to make sure that you cover all your tracks.
Correct.
So before we get into the next step and everything, because I know that's kind of we're jumping backwards a little bit, but I did want to touch base on when you do hit properties that are pretty tall, that are pretty high, you do something a little bit different.
Yeah,
You don't get a ladder out and like walk all the way up there.
So this is where Skyview Exteriors came from, and that's so what I use a drone as a tool. So now this tool allows me to not only get into tricky spots, but also within 10 minutes I'm already in the air taking pictures, and if anything I'm downloading it and sending it to the homeowner within 10-15 minutes of being there. Which is huge, because when we get there 3 stories up, we got to set the ladder, rope it up, and then cautiously get up there. And with the drone, it's just a matter of just popping it up there and getting real close to it. I've had about 4 years of experience flying my drone, and I'm only looking to go bigger and badder, and meaning more of an industrial drone with a thermal camera. So that's going to take things to the next level, because it'll detect any moisture within insulation and wood boards, which is much more effective when coming up with a plan, with a game plan to fix the issue. That's
actually pretty neat. I actually didn't know that before this, so that's pretty cool. Can you talk a little bit more about like your plans with that industrial drone?
Yeah, well, with that, I mean, I want to focus more on commercial, but I'm never going to leave the residential side. But this is also, this is beneficial to property owners, to first-time home buyers, to investors, to realtors. This is something where...
Can you see the wood rot with that thermal camera?
Yes, see, so it's typically, you would want it to do it at night, just because heat rises, and of course at night it's cold, the heat rises, and your insulation or whatever the boards or beam, it's gonna light up. It's gonna light up at night, and then even in the morning. So it tells you a lot. It tells you all the moistures, all the weak spots, and it's very informative. It's very expensive though. So but then again, it
adds a lot more quality.
Oh,
it adds a lot more detail. So someone that like an industrial place, yeah, it's expensive, but they find more value in that than your average homeowner would, because you can kind of see things easier from the homeowner's perspective.
Correct.
So that's pretty damn cool. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
So yeah, I'm also an engineer. So if you guys didn't know, I like all that techie stuff. But anyways, moving forward. So you got your tarp down. You took care of all the boards that you had problems with. You put your tarp down. Actually, you put the tarp down before that, right?
Right.
You got all the boards taken care of. Now, what's the things that you're putting on top of the boards?
So now, one of the things we make sure we have drip edge, which is what is gonna guarantee that water goes from your roof down into your gutter. We also do ice and water, which is a peel and stick, ice stand protector. Like I mentioned before, we do 6 feet usually. Kind of gives everybody a peace of mind, and I also sleep better at night as well. Just knowing that I'm going above and beyond.
Right.
With the project. We also use synthetic paper. We use starter strip. That way, it's usually when it comes to roofing inside, and the first course is one of the most important ones, just because that's what fly-offs are blown off. Once that goes, the rest of your roof goes, just because it's all weaved within each other and overlap. Another thing is, if there's chimney there, we make sure we have the lead flashing. We also make sure we motor everything. We grind right into it, and we ice and water all around it. And if there's a siding there, we weave it with some stead flashing. So just guarantees. We just think of water, and we try to become water, and just like, okay, this is how we're gonna trickle our way down. On top of that, we think about, we don't just install a roof, we install a roofing system. So it's all about ventilation, insulation, and a properly installed roof. So of course we got to ventilate it. We ensure that there's soffit vents. If not, we try to address it. How is it ventilating? How is it breathing? So what we do to exhaust, we do a continuous ridge vent, which is pretty much adopted. Recently, you kind of see it all throughout on the newer roofs. On the older ones, you see the mushroom vents, or pretty much like a box on top of your roof, and that's how that's ventilating out and exhausting. But some houses, some people just put a roof on. They didn't even address ventilation. So guess what's gonna happen? Your roof is just pretty much gonna have a short lifespan. So if it's a 30-year product, you're probably gonna see 15 to 20, just because it's not breathing properly. So the wood, it's gonna start warping, and then that's just gonna relay into your nails just popping right through your shingles, and then you know what's gonna happen after.
That's actually really good information, especially for everybody out there that's listening and that's watching. That when going to get a new roof, let's say you're a buyer and you're gonna have the seller kind of come and take care of that for you. Make sure that you're going to have the seller do that before you purchase the property, that they do focus on ventilation, because you don't want to have to put that in and then have to worry about your nails popping out and the roof falling apart in 15 years if you're planning on making that like a long-term property.
Correct.
So that's actually really good stuff right there. And so let's say you do walk up. Let's say some people are looking at a home right now, and they are looking at the ventilation or trying to focus on that. What are some of the things that they're going to see outside the mushroom box that'll show like this one probably isn't going to have the best ventilation, and that when I go to the roof, that this is something I'm going to want to focus on for this one if I do want to go forward with this property?
Okay, great question. So because of the new current and upgraded codes, I mean, anything is every conversation about a home, it's energy conservative. You know what I mean? That's kind of the approach that everybody's taking. Everything is airtight. So your attic is always supposed to be the same temperatures outside. It's kind of tricky if you think about it, but it's supposed to be the same temperatures outside. Fresh air is coming in through the soffits, and it's and then we want a continuous airflow. So if there's a gable vent, rule of thumb is block the gable, make sure there's fresh air is coming in through the soffits typically, and then ventilate it right through the peak or through the ridge vent. Some houses don't have enough soffit space or don't have a soffit at all. So being a GAF or GAF certified contractor, one of the things that we do, and to be honest with you, we're one of the few contractors that approach it this way. We use a intake pro vent by GAF, and that allows for fresh air to come in right through the roof. So we make sure there's intake on the bottom third of the roof, and we make sure that it's exhausting right through the top peak. So that's one of the ways around it. Wish more people have done it. They don't, but that's what stands us apart. And also, let's see, there's sometimes finished attics. That's one thing I want to mention. Finished attics, which is very common.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, and sometimes what I do see, I'm happy when I see a pro vent. And what a pro vent is, right, so it's a finished attic, but if you rip it out, there's insulation there. Between that wood board and the insulation, you want to make sure there's a pro vent thing. And that's going to guarantee that fresh air is coming from your soffit and it's right through your peak, because typically insulation will block the airflow.
That's actually something I want to write down. I definitely want to do another video actually on that right there. I'm gonna throw that in there.
Videos, where I could show proof, and what happens is that you're ensuring that everything is flowing and breathing properly. If not, then of course, like, well, if your attic is extremely hot, that means heat rises. So anything through your air holes, air leaks, where you have light fixtures, air or heat just rises up into your attic. Now, why is that important? Well, in the winter, like now, if we get 3 feet of snow, typically what you want to see is the whole roof covered in snow. If you just see the top melting, but on the bottom half all snow and covered in white snow, guess what? It's not ventilating properly, and you most likely will have ice dams. Now, the thing with ice dams is that most typically they'll be filled with your gutters. Your gutters will be filled with ice. So when water is melting and it's working its way down, by the time it gets to nighttime, it's gonna thaw. It's gonna freeze. It's gonna create a dam, and then water's just gonna come right down, have nowhere to go, and just find the path of least resistance. It's gonna melt during the day, and it's gonna freeze during the night. So this is gonna create a problem. No roofer is gonna do anything with ice. We've been lucky here in Rhode Island or in New England area, but the rest of the country not so lucky.
Now, sorry, speaking on that, you do Rhode Island and you do other states, right?
Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and we might be in New Jersey very soon. Within a few weeks, we got an opportunity to bid on a huge commercial project that I'm very proud of.
Good for you. Good for you. Maybe we can touch on that a little bit towards the end of this. But the reason why I said that is because although Rhode Island doesn't always get a lot of ice, places like Worcester, Massachusetts, and other parts in that area do get a lot of snow and do get a lot of ice. So once again, I know that I have a following from people that are kind of all over the country for the most part, but I know that Massachusetts, you're all over the place. So if that applies to you, then you got somebody there too. But so yeah, you kind of went through everything about like how you start the work and a lot of the stuff that you focus on, your synthetic papers, your drip edge, the flashing around the chimney. Now you're done. Now let's get to the point where now you just finished doing all that stuff. The shingles are up, everything looks good. What are you doing as far as like cleanup, or just trying to make sure that like the roof is done, and then the surrounding area is all taken care of as well to make sure that the tarp did catch everything?
Right. So what we have, I mean, you may have seen it before. So we have a magnetic sweeper, and usually we have a few of those. And what we do throughout the whole job, but typically usually towards the end, we just walk around just like walking the dog, but it's sweeping any nails or metal materials on the floor, whether it's new, old, whatever it is, it's taking it away. Just because we could put the perfect product for Mrs. Jones, but if Mrs. Jones' poodle or granddaughter steps on a nail,
yeah, that's gonna be a bad nightmare for you.
guess what? That amazing roof that I did, it's no longer amazing, and that superhero that I once was, you know, now I'm just the other guy.
Yeah, the guy that nobody wants to talk to because
A
someone
nail.
stepped on a nail.
Hey,
But-
that hasn't happened, knock on wood, but that's one of the things that we do. We also we do tons of walk around the property tons of times just because of certain things that we may have missed or not. If there's something that we could fix, you know, immediately, like for example, if there's a gutter, a downspout that maybe has a missing bar or something, that's something that's honestly less than $2. So if we go above and beyond, how much happier is a homeowner going to be, or the property owner going to be like, wait a minute, you guys did that too? Like, I didn't even ask you guys. Like,
Boom.
that's it. That's what I want. That's the reaction we want. That's the experience we want, and that's what's having us people refer a lot of customers and a lot of people to us. So we're happy and excited about it.
Yeah, hashtag above and beyond over here.
Above and
Good for
beyond.
you. All right, so you cleaned up, you got everything going. You're now walking through, and you're walking. Are you walking the customer around at all afterwards, or are you kind of just like having that conversation with them and saying, "Hey, I'm done," and then making that walk?
So at the very end, depending on if it's the summer, it gets dark at 8 o'clock. So it kind of gives an opportunity to do everything in one day. But if it's in the winter or whatever the case is, if it's too dark, I don't try to do a walkthrough at all with the customer. I try to pick a day that's
Kind of come
convenient.
back.
Yeah, to come back, that's convenient. Maybe it's raining the next day, so I'll come back the second day. But guess what? If they had a leak and it's raining the next day, they're going to be like this, like, oh my God, it's dry. They're going to be much more happier. Also, we do a walkthrough. Sometimes I bring the magnetic sweeper and I do a walkthrough with them. And then as long as they don't hear ping, 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 there's no nails, you know, so they're happy about it. Also, they know, I just want to make sure that they're satisfied, and that's kind of like the bottom line. Just because they took a chance with us and given us an opportunity to come inspect, you know, to come to their house where all their loved ones and all their valued properties are most likely at. And just to make sure that we put the best product on one of the, you know, that's protecting all their valuables, and that's the roof. And I'm proud of being, you know, becoming pretty much a family member once I do their roof, because that's what I am. That's what I become. People are excited and will invite me for dinner afterwards just because they know they got the best product on there. And whatever the issue was before, which is usually a headache, it's now solved seamlessly.
Yeah, well, usually it's the parents that are keeping the roof over the head, but
That's
in
right.
that case, that's all you. So of course your family.
That's right.
So that's good stuff right there. So yeah, that's I think that pretty much sums up everything. And actually, I think this is one of our longer videos too. You had a lot of great stuff to share.
Yeah.
You guys really, I mean, you've definitely proven to me that you go above and beyond. We've spoken about this before too, just before we had this video and everything. But for those of you that are out there listening, I mean, when you're looking to take care of, I mean, hire a roofer, whether you're in the New England area or you're external somewhere else, I mean, these are the types of things that you're going to want to focus on. Somebody that goes above and beyond because of the reasons that he suggested. I mean, someone that's just going to go there and just try to do a quick job just because they want to make a quick buck, they're going to put nails into rotted wood, they're going to put nails into holes, and you're going to have a big windstorm or something, and that stuff's going to go flying away. So when you do go to take care of a roof, make sure if you're not in this area, you're not able to work with Edwin or something like that, that you are making sure that these people do focus on these things, that they are going to go that extra mile, because this is a huge purchase, and it's protecting, literally protecting the most valuable, I mean, the most, what do you call it? The most expensive purchase most people make in their entire life.
Yes.
So this is, it's really like a key thing to be focused on. And also it's structural.
Correct.
Structure is foundation. All that stuff is a huge deal when purchasing a home and when owning a home. So
I just want to mention something. One of the things I've learned is just the average person, three of their biggest purchases in order: home, car, furniture.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we want to make sure that the home is, I mean, the biggest purchase. We want to make sure that that's solid, completely watertight. Exactly. You're building equity into it. You may sell it. You may hand it off to some of your siblings or whatever the case is, or maybe your daughter. Who knows? But it is an investment. And one of the things I do want to say, through real estate, I think about 97% of all millionaires own a piece of real estate. So it's something to get involved in. It's something to be smart of. And it's something that'll probably help out every situation out there, I believe.
I co-sign that 100%. And so just to move on from that as well, you're not just a roofer either, right?
No, so we do siding, we do windows, we do doors. I mean, roofing is my bread and butter. It is what I have a passion for. But you know, if I have to fly the drone and do some photography, whatever the case is, you know, we make sure I'm very resourceful, and I make sure that I'm friends with a lot of contractors. Just because if I'm not able to do it, or I don't feel comfortable doing it, then I'm just gonna let the person know, because I like being honest and transparent, and then I'm gonna refer to them to someone who can get it done and get it done appropriately, and I make sure that everybody's on the same page when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think that that's also really great, and I'm happy you use the word transparent, because if there's one thing that I want the Bolano team to represent, is everything is through transparency. That when buyers or sellers or homeowners are coming to talk to us or someone that we're working with, someone that we're referring out, that they're aware that transparency is like one of those fundamental like ideas that we all bring forward. Because I know that we had a conversation with our painter last week, Russ Gorman. If you guys didn't get to watch it, swing back to last week's video, episode 4, and check that out. He has a lot of great stuff, and we forgot to mention as well, he's going to be featured on HGTV because his work is that quality. So if you guys are looking for a painter, I mean, we're talking top of the line here. If you're going to be on HGTV, he did such a good job that they said that they're going to promote him and everything on there. So go check out his work, Russ Gorman Painting LLC. But that's last week. And going into this week, we're talking about somebody that's extremely transparent here, lets you know what's going on. And he's sitting here conversating with you guys, letting you guys know what he does behind the scenes, what he's doing in front of you guys, and how he operates as a whole to produce the best product, to give you guys the best bang for your buck. So when you do make this big purchase, you can protect it the proper way.
Correct. And even when you're looking to add on extra things to it, like the solar panels, you want to make sure that you're having a roof inspection done by a roofer. I mean, if you think about it, if you're gonna have a solar company do a roof inspection, I mean, think about what they're selling and what they're trying to achieve. So you want to make sure you have somebody that's backing you up, that has your best interest at heart, and not somebody, not to throw anybody under the bus, but we try to take the homeowner's best interest and give them a plan and make sure they're being taken care of. Because honestly, one of the best compliments that we could receive is a referral. It's somebody saying, yeah, it's one of the best compliments, and that's what we look for.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Hey,
I seriously appreciate this.
Thank you for having me.
I hope for all you out there that were watching this, you find this informative. Russ shot me a quick message right now, which is the painter from last week.
Okay.
He's watching us, and he said that he
you.
definitely wants to get some of your cards so that way you guys can link up. Russ is a great guy. I think you're going to love him. I've known him since I was in high school, and for those of you out there, once again, I hope this was informative. Remember that if you guys share this, the more shares that you get out there, each one is an entry into our raffle to win a $250 Amazon gift card. So share from episode 1 till we'll let you know when. So just keep sharing until then, and then on the next set for the next quarter, we'll let you know when that one starts. And if you guys don't believe me, once again, go check out last year's video from #Let's Talk. The last video there, go to our YouTube page and you can see our last winner and what she's going to be doing with the money. You guys can do things for your houses with this, for your rentals, whatever you want. But we once again appreciate you guys. Take a look at the listings that we throw out there if that's of interest to you. Like the page if you like what's going on, and ask for the notifications if this is something that you find valuable. Once again, Edwin, thank you. I'm going to drop his information on this right after this, and you guys can get in touch with him if you have any further questions.
Please follow me on Instagram, Mr.Skyview. I vomit content on there. I try to educate people, and that way when they're looking at a roof, they're looking at something, they kind of know what's going on or having a better idea than the next person. Great. Phone number. 401-375-4491. That is for Skyview Exteriors, the roofing company, 401-375-4491. Awesome. And I'm going to put that on here. Also, I did put his website on here too, so definitely go check that out, see the work that he's done. I'm going to wrap this up now. Thank you once again. Third handshake. Boom. We'll see you guys next week. Agudelo will be here with us, all right? Ugh.